a moment because I saw something disturbing in regards to President Donald Trump and how he came at Representative Jasmine Crockett. And I wanted to take this opportunity to attack this issue as it pertained to me and Jasmine Crockett because I personally have had an issue with how things have been misconstrued and misinterpreted. But at the end of the day, I have to own it. And that's what I'm going to do today. And so when somebody says to me, Stephen, rather than point to her and her verbiage and her language and how she talked about the president, what about how he talks? I have no problem with that. I can understand that. And if that is the reason that everybody is in an uproar, that is fine. And I have no problem apologizing to that to my sister because, damn it, I want her to know I don't feel that way about her. Just like I didn't feel that way about Kamala Harris. Just like I don't feel that way about the marvelous, the wonderful, the incomparable, the greatest first lady ever, and Michelle Obama, in my estimation, or anybody else. But what we're going to do on this show is understand who the hell I am and how it's going to be as long as I'm doing this show. I have no problem apologizing if I'm wrong. I have no problem apologizing if I've made somebody feel a certain kind of way. But I'm going to challenge the legitimacy of what people come at me with when I think that challenge is warranted and deserved. If you came to me and you said to me that it came across as a bit dismissive, Stephen, you should have been more protective of her than that because look at how he speaks. Look at how they act on Capitol Hill towards her. I understand that. But when somebody tries to take that to accuse me of being disrespectful or in any way misogynistic, I'm going to push back on that because that's emphatically false. There's no truth to that whatsoever, and I'm not accepting that and I'm not owning that. I can sit up there and I can look at Representative Jasmine Crockett. Do you know what I think she should be doing? I think she should be competing for the Senate seat in Texas or for the Attorney General spot because she's qualified. I personally think Kamala Harris should have ran for governor of California.
Yo, this whole Stephen A. Smith situation, weak. I'm talking about embarrassingly weak. And it ain't even about Jasmine Crockett, Trump, or politics at the core. This is about standing on what you said. Standing 10 toes down as a man, especially when you ain't even say nothing wild in the first place. And bro, we watched Stephen A, the same dude who built the whole brand on being outspoken, opinionated, unfiltered, now fold like a lawn chair because people got emotional. Not even because he disrespected anybody. He didn't call nobody out their name. He didn't go crazy. He didn't drag Crockett. He literally asked a question. That's it. A question. And now you're on national TV, front and center, tail between your legs, apologizing like you slapped her grandma or something. So, like, dog, what are we doing? We got to stop this culture where people feel like just questioning something gets labeled as disrespect. And that's how they shut people down. That's how they gaslight you into silence. Or, and if you can't ask a question or analyze something without someone trying to throw the misogynistic or misogynist or disrespectful tag on you, what's the point of even having conversations this point in this point in day? And let's be real. Stephen A ain't built for this side of the game. That's the problem when it comes to politics. You wanted to tiptoe into political commentary, try to mix your sports fame with some political heat, but you didn't realize this lane ain't for the softies. You step into this arena, you better be ready to take punches, especially when you're talking about race, gender, or anything involving black women in politics, right? That's the Bermuda Triangle of sensitive topics. So one slip and it's over for you. But again, that's the part that's crazy is he didn't even slip. Nothing he said was out of pocket. But here we are, public apology tour, watered down. I respect my queen speech, and this my sis, and my sister. It ain't even your sis, man. And one thing I be hating people that's always calling people they cousins. That's not their cousin. Sister, that ain't they sis. Oh, what up, cuz? That's not your cousin. Like, we gotta stop this, dog. All these mislabeling or remixing things to make it seem like what it is, what ain't. If you rock with somebody, you rock with somebody, but don't try to label them something that they not. Like, it be people that be calling their girlfriends wifey, right? Or women that be calling their um boyfriend's husband, but they really not married or have no intentions to be married in the first place. So it's like I don't be playing with them labels. Like, if we gonna be what it's gonna be, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Out of respect to what it is, out of respect to real husbands, out of respect to real, wives, right? People always trying to throw, and I'm just speaking in regards of me growing up and me being in the culture, the black culture and being in a black family. A lot of people try to call me cuz that ain't cuz. I'll just cut it off right from the rip. But getting to what Stephen A. Smith said, nothing he said was out of pocket. All he did was ask Jasmine Crockett, based on merit and what she qualifies for. Based on what she had basically took the responsibility in regards of the job description, surrounded around the job description, and what constituents that voted her in, seeing that she was qualified for. Why are you acting so unprofessional and ghetto when this is not how you were when your constituents voted on the behalf of you, seeing you qualify for your position? I don't see no type of issue with constructive criticism in regards of making someone better by questioning their own actions based on merit for the position that they uphold. What is wrong with that? I give you a better example. How many people at the end of the year or the physical year get surveys based on their job performance from their supervisor or whatever, seeing if they are seeing if they are upholding the bargain in regards to their job description to see if they're being very effective and actually adding value to the company. That's why they're being surveyed and looked at and analyzed for their job performance. And either you're doing magnificent, you're doing phenomenal, and they just say, right on, just keep on being phenomenal as you are. We have no issues with what you're doing. You've been great this year. Keep it up based on the surveys and the job performance and based on, the assessment. And then you have some who need to work on not being late or need to work on being on time more, right? And they'll say, hey, you're a great worker. We just need you to work on this. You're weak in coming in on time. You're weak in, whatever the case may be. It's the same thing that Stephen A. Smith was doing with Jasmine Crockett. She's a public official, so you're going to get public criticism. And I don't think that it was nothing not unjust for him to question how ghetto she's behaving when we know that she don't come from a ghetto background. This is not Comic Con. This is real people lives, real constituents that she's acting upon and making decisions on the behalf for, but she's bringing nothing to her constituents. The people that believed in her to lobby the best interest of them, and which why they voted her in the first place. So now it look like she sold her constituents a pitch, but she didn't deliver. That's all he was saying. So now he's backtracking his words and apologizing because he can't take the heat. Well, if you can't take the heat, then get out the damn kitchen.
I've said it for the record.
And what bothers me is this the same dude who be all loud and groggy on. Just stick to sports then, Stephen A. Smith. But it's the same dude. Oh, I'm gonna tell you who I am. Bro, we don't know who you are. You are a chameleon. You flip flop. One minute you standing on business, the next minute you apologize on the same thing that you stand on. You are riding the fence and you're trying to please both sides of the realm. You don't want to upset your base, right? In this case, you may feel as though black women may be upset about you, but at the end of the day, you are not targeting black women. This individual, it's not even about race. It's just that Jasmine Crockett happens to be black, but you're asking her not on her race, but based on her job performance. But individuals want to turn it into divisive rhetoric, talking about race, skin color that have nothing to do with her job as a public official. But it seems to me, and this is just my opinion, that he wants to hold on to the black woman voter base, so he don't want to upset anybody. But see, when you do something in regards of pandering, when you said how you truly felt and then you try to backtrack it to pander to someone else, you really stand for nothing, and it's just a bunch of nothingness because you should have just never said nothing in the beginning. So you can't sit there and operate on the base of saying I have a character of telling you who I am, and I'm unapologetically going to say how I am and say how I feel 10 toes down. But then in the same second, in the same sentence, soon as you say something unapologetically, you take it back. Bro, you are not the person that you claim to be. This outspoken person. You a lame.
That if Michelle Obama was running for president, she would have beat Trump, in my opinion. I think she'd have done it. That's how I feel. But somehow, some way, it's never enough for some people out there. I understand. I would advise you to get over it or buckle up because I'm not going away. This is my show. I will say what I feel and I will do what I want. It doesn't mean I'm going to be insensitive. It doesn't mean that I don't care about our community. A matter of fact, most of the trouble I get in is because I care about our community. And the reason I'm bringing this up and the reason that I'm willing to attack this subject, because this really ain't about Jasmine Crockett. I respect her. I wish her nothing but the best. I was simply asking a question. That's all. What's working for you?
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna just leave it right there because he's just talking just to talk because he's saying a bunch of nothingness. At the end of the day, when he goes on this I respect my queen speech that you guys just heard and people are clapping like it's accountability. Nah, that's not accountability. That's just damage control. That's corporate fear. And this is a man trying to keep a bag, keep the money flowing in by sacrificing his own backbone. That's not how leaders move. That's how PR trained puppets move. And for all the folks defending this with the, well, Trump said worse excuse, let's stop using Trump's nonsense as the bar for behavior. Like we just gonna let anybody say anything and excuse it because at least it ain't Trump level bad. That's a weak standard. And worry about yourself. That's not growth. That's regression. And let's keep it 100. This ain't about Jasmine Crockett either. She's solid. She accomplished things. I'm not taking that from her. She holds her own political battles every week. She didn't ask for the apology. The mob did. The woke mob did. And yeah, I said it. The online crowd that lives to twist intentions, clip context, and create fake outrage to feed their own egos. And if you give them an inch and they demand a mile, and you get them the whole darn freeway, Stephen, now you look soft, Stephen A. Smith, and you look shook, and you look like somebody that talks loud when it's safe, but folds when a moment gets uncomfortable. So good for being outspoken, supposedly, right? And to the people saying, hey, he's just trying to be respectful. Let me ask you this. What part of growth requires erasing your spine? Because you could have clarified your stance. You could have reaffirmed your respect for Jasmine Crockett without throwing your whole self under the bus. You could have educated folks instead of appeasing them, but you chose to cower. And the saddest part is they still don't respect you, Stephen A. Smith. You gave them everything they wanted, and they still calling you wishy-washy, soft, hand-packed, handpicked, and unsure, scared to stand on business, and you lost both ways. You didn't earn back respect. You just confirmed their doubts. And this ain't just about Stephen A. either. This is bigger. This is about how, you know, individuals in the public eye keep getting forced to walk a line that nobody else has to walk, right? You either play the role they cast you for or you get labeled every is it, well, ist and phobic in the book. And meanwhile, other folks say what they want, how they want, criticize who they want, and don't even issue an apology. So I'm gonna leave it there. At the end of the day, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Peace.